for the other side, if you will, of the LSU Med, University Health, Biomedical Research, Governor John Bell Edwards, et cetera, coin. We are joined by State Representative Cedric Glover. Mr. Cedric, how are you doing this morning? Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing?
Well, let's start with the question that you and I were texting back and forth yesterday. The governor moves to terminate the deal with Biomedical Research Foundation. Is this just another move in a pretty high-stakes poker game?
I'm not sure what it is, but here's what I want to do, though. First of all, I want to apologize to all of the employees of University Health and the LSU Medical School for all of what they have had to endure over the last 3 years. I was certainly hopeful that with this governor and this legislature that things were going to get better, and I believe that they eventually will. But the folks who have been used as pawns in this for the last 3 years are the folks out there who work hard to deliver services every day to help to heal and to mend lives and return people to health. And the truth of the matter is, if you talk to many of those folks, they will tell you that they're doing a better job today than they've ever done before. And so I think that we owe them an apology for putting them in a posture of having to worry about the same things that apparently very few people were worried about 3 years ago, when you had people who lost their jobs, lost their retirement, found their lives up in the air, and here we are right back again, and apparently with some of the same games being played.
Well, I apologize in advance for the medical analogy, but in this case, are we trying to cure the patient with leeches?
We're trying to cure the patients with, I think, a lot of stuff that's probably worse than leeches, apparently. A lot of stuff that nobody seems to really want to put on the table to talk about and acknowledge. But fortunately, one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to look people in the eye, I'm going to tell them the truth. And I'm going to do what I think is best for Shreveport, Bossier, and Northwest Louisiana.
What's the biggest lie being told, Cedric?
I think there's a lot of them, so I'm not sure what the biggest one is. I think that the idea that this was that these are good faith negotiations, I think probably might be one of those. I think that probably part of what was hoped for was that they were going to present the BRF with a set of options that they were going to look at and essentially say, oh, we can't do that, and give up the ghost and walk away. In fact, I think that's what everybody on the other side of this situation is hoping for, is that the local folks, the Shreveport folks, the Northwest Louisiana folks in this situation will just throw up their hands out of frustration and walk away. I think that's what this whole thing has been about, so that makes it easiest for them to be able to come in with that alternative scenario that you talked to others about that supposedly was ready to go last week, but now is once again, maybe it needs a little bit more work.
I had asked Senator Tarver if he thought that the state's offer to Biomedical Research Foundation was purposely low, i.e., was it a deal, an offer designed to fail? And he said, no. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I think it's not only an offer that's designed to have them fail if they were to take it, or to decide to walk away rather than risk failing. I think you also have very deliberate efforts underway by the state of Louisiana and by the LSU system to restrict the cash flow to the Biomedical Research Foundation, to put them in a position that makes it difficult for them to operate. So not only do we give you onerous terms, unreasonable terms that are different from anybody else in the state of Louisiana, at the same time, we're going to cut off the spigot of dollars that you've earned, that you're owed, that your employees have gone out and provided the services for, and put you in a posture to where you can end up putting politicians on the radio and on television and in the newspaper saying some of the types of things that you've heard already.
Do you suspect, like some, that there's already a deal in the works with somebody else, whether it be an Ochsner? You may have heard Senator Tarver talk about Children's in New Orleans. Do you suspect that that's already in the works?
Erin, this is Louisiana. And we know the history of Louisiana politicians. And we know the kind of deals that have been done in the past. We know what happened in many instances up and down across the width and breadth of this state. And so to believe that there's not something that is already underway, that's done, that serves the interest of someone other than the public, is something that's more than reasonable to believe. And so, yes, I think that's absolutely something that's a possibility.
And why are you in the dark then? You're one of our representatives.
Because I'm not one of those folks who puts my interests above the interests of the folks who trust me to be their representative.
There are people, you've made the claim, and I think it's a case that's pretty easily made. There are folks in South Louisiana who want our medical school. Do you think that this could be a situation where, like the governor was talking about, you have my unwavering support? When the governor says that, do you think he means the medical school here as it exists now, or possibly a downsized, as you had made reference to, LSUS type medical school?
Okay, let's answer that question, Nick. But let me say this, because we talked about the part you guys spoke, and that there was an effort underway in July of last year to bring in Washington State's largest and highest rated medical system, one of the best and well respected in the world, and that effort was undercut and undermined. And as I heard earlier, because they have a medical school in Australia, and they may bring residents from Australia to here, why wouldn't we want to bring as many residents into this market, into this hospital, into these facilities, to give us a chance to have access to more residents, to be able to provide more service, quicker service, train more doctors, and who knows, you may get some Aussies or folks who come from other places around the country to come here, see Shreveport, see how nice we are, welcome our way of life, and decide to stay. And we end up with another doctor here within this market. So you've got reasons being given that are completely baseless, if not specious. Now, to your question, if you want to talk about what I believe the imagined future is at the best for the LSU Medical School and the LSU Health Science Center and the facilities we have there on Kings Highway, you have nothing to do other than to go down Uri Drive and see what we have in LSU Shreveport, an institution that's a part of the LSU system, which has the second fewest number of undergraduate students of any four-year public university in the entire state of Louisiana. The only four-year public university that LSU Shreveport has more undergrads than is Southern University New Orleans. Here we are in the third largest city in the state metro region of 500,000 people, and we don't have a university system that has advanced degrees, that has technical programs like engineering. We don't have a law school. We have something that has the LSU name on it, but very little else besides that. And I think that folks, unfortunately, of Alexandria are happy and very content with that. And so if there's not an actual agenda that would specifically move the medical school away from here, it is certainly not an agenda that would have us being able to position excellence that gives us a chance to be able to take those assets and grow and develop and advance this region, as you've seen Biomed and other folks in this area trying to do for the last 30 years.
What do you anticipate happening in the next 45 days?
Well, hopefully, I think what you're going to see is that maybe the governor and the folks involved in this on the other side see that this isn't going to be as easy as they thought it would be, and that they'll actually come to the table and engage in some real, actual negotiations. Let me quote just a few numbers for you. For folks who say that this is a better deal being offered to Shreveport than the other hospitals around the state. Mm-hmm. You've already seen a chart that the Biomed folks have provided to you that points out some very, very glaring things. Let me share something else with you. University Health in Shreveport compared to the brand new state-of-the-art billion-dollar University Medical Center in New Orleans. Number of patient beds here in Shreveport, 461. Number in New Orleans, 253. Number of total patient days here, 108,000. New Orleans, 64,000. Total discharges here in University Health in Shreveport, 20,000. Discharges in New Orleans, 10,000. Medicaid days in Shreveport, 44,000. Medicaid days in New Orleans, 24,000. Total cost to run Shreveport, 394,000. Total cost to run of 394 million.
Yeah.
Total cost to run New Orleans, $462 million. Now, here's brand new hospital in New Orleans, so no deferred maintenance. Deferred maintenance here for University Health, over $150 million. Here's the most important number. Proposed supplemental funds from the state of Louisiana for University Health in Shreveport, $153 million. You know what that number is for the University Medical Center in New Orleans?
I'm scared to listen.
$411 million.
And they have fewer beds.
They have fewer beds. They have fewer patient days. They have fewer discharges. They have fewer Medicaid days. But $153 million compared to $411 million. And these people are trying to convince me, you, and the rest of the folks here in Northwest Louisiana that we're being dealt with fairly? No.
In your opinion, if it were just up to you, if you could push the button, would the deal with Biomed get done, and would they be sticking around?
Well, not only do I think it needs to be done, but again, as I said, these assets were recognized after we came out of the oil crash of the early 80s, as I was coming out of high school. Decision was made by Shreveport leaders, Northwest Louisiana leaders. We got to diversify our economy. What do we have that we can use to help us do that? Well, we've got a medical school and we've got a teaching hospital. Well, you add a research component to that, and you've got an academic medical center that can begin to help to grow and to elevate and broaden and diversify this economy. Out of that came this concept of the Biomedical Research Foundation and how we can manage to be able to take these things and grow it and get something for Shreveport that is very similar to what you see in places like Birmingham with the University of Alabama at Birmingham, or in Houston with the Texas Medical Center, or in Baltimore with Johns Hopkins, and in other examples all around this country. We have that here in Shreveport, and we need to be focused on how it is that we not only hold on to it, but that we grow it, we elevate it, we advance it, we use it as a chance to be able to keep our children here home and to be able to attract people to come here so that we can actually grow this community, not just end up with something with the LSU name slapped on it, with a minimal trickle of funding coming up that just kind of limps along and serves as a placeholder and keeps other people from being able to come in here in this market like Louisiana Tech proposed to do 4 years ago and give us a chance for some real excellence, some real growth, and some real advancement.